Tactics Ogre has a long, storied history among JRPG fans. First released on the Super Famicom in 1995 as Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together, the game garnered a strong following in Japan for its deep story, compelling characters, rich narrative, and sublime turn-based tactical action. Eventually ported to the PS1 and localized for the West in 1998, the game met with similar critical and audience acclaim in North America, its popularity eventually leading to a remake for the PlayStation Portable in 2010. And now, after 12 years, Tactics Ogre is once again reintroduced to modern consoles as Tactics Ogre Reborn. The same amazing game you remember from the PSP, but now with a slew of improvements, additions, and tweaks, making this feel like the definitive version of the game. Thanks to Square Enix for allowing us a chance to provide you with an early look. For this preview, we'll address the major changes to the game, while leaving the battle system and narrative for our final review. Right off the bat, the first thing you'll notice is the detailed, redrawn character sprites and backgrounds. These character models are in fact not simply upscaled and filtered, but redrawn with smaller and denser pixels, allowing smaller details for each character to really stand out in a way that was impossible before. These smaller pixels help preserve the original look while looking great in HD, and especially on my OLED Switch, which is where I'm playing the game. The UI has also been greatly improved, having been rendered in HD to make everything crisper and more readable while streamlining information and controls. Another major addition, every line of dialogue is now fully voiced. And while I can only comment on characters I've met through the end of Chapter 1, so far it's excellent across the board. And while some characters sound different than I've always imagined they would, the voice actors do a wonderful job of bringing gravitas and emotion to the script, which as far as I can tell remains unchanged, which is a good thing. And yes, you can absolutely switch between English and Japanese voices. The game's OST also receives an overhaul, as Tactics Ogre composer Hitoshi Sakimoto re-recorded the entire soundtrack with a live orchestra, complete with entirely new pieces of music. Probably my favorite change is the addition of a unit-by-unit leveling system, replacing one of my very few complaints about the original game's cumbersome class-wide leveling. Each unit advances differently depending on its class, making for a far more streamlined system that emphasizes player choice and allows interesting combinations of equipment, skills, and magic for each unit. It's the one thing I really wanted to see most in this remake, and I couldn't be happier for its addition. The flow of battle is faster also, a nice addition considering some battles will take some time to push through. Now there is one more thing Square says they've overhauled, and that's the AI of your opponents in combat, whose tactics are fluid and change throughout depending on the layout of the battlefield and the state of the battle. Now, to be honest, I haven't really been able to pinpoint an instance in which I've noticed a meaningful change. The game is still as challenging as I remember it, but I haven't played it in over a decade and don't really remember much about the enemy AI to begin with, aside from it being on par with what you'd expect from similar games, such as Final Fantasy Tactics. All in all, my time thus far with Tactics Ogre has been one of joy and relief. This is one of my favorite games of all time, and something I've been hoping would be opened up to a new audience for quite some time. To see it finally happen in a form where such obvious time and care has been spent making it available not only on modern consoles, but with such incredibly significant improvements across the board is a literal dream come true. I couldn't be happier so far, and I look forward to rendering our final verdict on Tactics Ogre Reborn soon. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this preview, please like this video, and find us live every week on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/officialsdgc.